So let's start out this video by saying I don't dislike Arcade1Up. I don't dislike iArcade. I don't dislike At Games. I think they all make cool products that are fun for home arcade things. Obviously, I have a whole slew of Arcade1Up machines. I have an iArcade machine. I have an At Games pinball machine. They all serve a purpose. They're all fun to play with, and I do enjoy owning all of them and in their own different unique ways. Obviously, Arcade1Up is going to be a couple, big marquee games on one system. The iArcade is kind of like the other games that were in the arcade that you would have to wait for to play the Mortal Kombats and the Street Fighters and stuff. You would play these random games at the arcade while you were waiting, and I feel like the iArcade does a good job of doing that. I'm not even a big pinball guy, so the At Games pinball machine is really all I really need. I just want to play a little bit of video pinball, and it's a fun thing. With that being said, though, I used to buy a lot of Arcade1Ups. I used to buy a lot of them, and I thoroughly enjoyed these products. I've been around Arcade1Up since day one when they were $300. I got the Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition machine, which I still own, and I was like, wow, this is really freaking cool. Like, yes, it's not arcade perfect, but it's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to weigh as much as an arcade machine or be as bulky as an arcade machine or be as hard to move as an arcade machine. This is something that one individual can move around wherever they are in their house. I never got into the whole risers thing with it either, because if one machine didn't have a riser, I thought it would look goofy. So you pull up a chair, you pull up a stool when you come to RGT's arcade. But when I bought the Simpsons Arcade1Up machine, I was not happy with that machine. I like playing the Simpsons games. I like the fact that there was Simpsons Bowling on there, which was a game that I had never played before. And I like the general idea, but the price point was ridiculous. It was I think I paid $700 for it. The fact that you had to download the Simpsons pinball because it wasn't on there natively, I guess they rushed it out, that bothered me as well. The intro screen being slightly off also bothered me as well. And the fact that the speakers and the layout of the controllers were not very good, I was kind of like, okay, you know what, I'm done. There's only a couple games that can bring me back into the fold. You bring me a Daytona USA, you bring me a Virtua Fighter, you bring me a House of the Dead, I'll come back around. But until then, I'm just not going to buy any of these machines. There's been some interesting machines. The Ridge Racer machine looked pretty cool. The Terminator 2 machine looked pretty cool. Wildly overpriced for both of those, but the Terminator 2 one did come down around the holiday season. Of course, Blitz just came out, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but both of those machines had major online issues that I'm not even sure if those machines are working quite yet. So Arcade1Up seems to be kind of in a weird position right now, and CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show 2023, is taking place, which always gives us a glimpse at what Arcade1Up has for at least a portion of the year. Maybe not the full year, but at least a portion of the year. And this lineup is just, it's more of the same. It's more of the same. There are a few interesting things here, but for the most part, it's more of the same damn games that have been released multiple times with just incremental feature upgrades, and I just want to talk about it. So this is the official PR newsletter that was provided by Arcade1Up at 9, I guess it was Eastern time, today, the 4th. When I'm filming this video, it'll be going up on the 5th. Wheel of Fortune Casino-Cade Deluxe debuted at CES along with portable Infinity game board and new flagship design for arcade machines. So basically, the main thing that they've done is this new Casino-Cade, which has a variety of casino games here. We have a couple different screens. You know what? I don't hate this. I don't hate this, because whenever you go to an arcade, there's usually some sort of thing that's kind of like this. Obviously, you're not dealing with real world money. You're just playing for kind of points and bragging rights and stuff like that. I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all. I think it's something that's kind of interesting. It allows you to bring the taste of Vegas home. You'll love the high quality spins that allow players to enjoy the thrill of winning at games like blackjack and mahjong. I hate that word. I never knew how to say it until recently. At home, while being able to hone their skills before heading to the casino. It's got 2 LCD screens, dual speakers, a light up marquee, flashing lights. It's basically a casino machine. The Infinity game board. Now they have like a smaller one, I guess. I never understood this. Like, I thought if it was like $200, like maybe this would be cool, but it's not $200. The Infinity Game Board was very expensive, but you know, I'm guessing this will be sort of a cheaper version of it. But you know, whatever. It's not for me. I'm not someone who plays a lot of board games with friends or family or stuff like that. The arcade or the casino machine is kind of cool, but then we have the games. Have you seen these machines before? Because I sure as hell have. A Mortal Kombat 2 machine. Miss Pac-Man. Miss Pac-Man. Two Miss Pac-Mans. And a Pac-Man. Now, I understand that Pac-Man is popular with Arcade1Up. Here's the one interesting thing. As you see, there is no riser. It's just sort of built as a standalone thing. It's all one piece, which kind of makes you wonder why they didn't do this in the first place. It has all the same games that came on the first re-release, Mortal Kombat 2. There is online play as well with the Pac-Man stuff. This is the first Miss Pac-Man. You get some additional games on here, your Galagas, games from that era that everyone is familiar with. Nice looking cabinet itself. I remember playing this cabinet at, not the Arcade1Up version, but the actual cabinet at a highlight place when my dad was playing highlight one day and I was bored out of my mind. We have the Pac-Man, once again, no riser. It's all just built in one thing. And then we have there's another one. Come on, there's another one here. We have the other Miss Pac-Man with a slightly different look. Oh, no, that's the first one I showed you. Here's the other one. It has a little different graphic on it here. You're making two freaking Miss Pac-Mans with Galaga, or you can get the Miss Pac-Man without Galaga, and it's just Miss Pac-Man. Now, I understand that Pac-Man is very popular. And I think that these games having things like online leaderboards and stuff is a cool thing. The price point of these is actually pretty decent as well. $500 for the newly released cabinets. Here's the problem though. The average person already has one of these. You're not going to do anything to bring in new customers by re-releasing once again machines that have been released over and over and over again. I don't understand what Arcade1Up is doing. I really don't, because you should be showing new games off. You should be showing new licenses that you've acquired. You should be growing as a company. You should be growing into, you know, different sorts of fields and different sorts of games. You've done shooting games before with Big Buck Hunter. You've done racing games before with Ridge Racer. Why are you not trying? You've worked with Sega before. And I understand I sound very selfish in saying this, because there's only really 3 games that would bring me back, with Daytona USA, House of the Dead, and Virtua Fighter. The problem is these games aren't new games to anyone who's been playing these and buying these systems. These are simply just, I guess, maybe upgrades for people like Michael B, the Game Genie. I don't know how that man buys every single cabinet that comes out. I don't know how that man has the room for every single cabinet that comes out. But Michael B does have the freaking room for it. Shouts out to Michael B. He's the homie. But I don't understand re-releasing stuff that already exists. And this is the flagship stuff. There's rumors that Star Wars is going to be re-released again. I don't want these crappy Star Wars games from the Atari era. I want the Sega ones. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand why they're not trying to be more creative with their stuff. They've made so much money. They've gotten so much free publicity. They've worked with so many celebrities now. We're at the point where it's like, when's the leap? You know, when are we going to start to do new stuff? When are we going to start to do fun stuff? When are we going to get back to what Arcade1Up was all about, which was bringing home arcade-like experiences? I don't remember there being online shit in the arcades that I went to. I don't remember stuff like that. Now you're essentially just making all these machines multi-arcade cabinets because there's a bunch of games on there. And like, that's cool. You're getting a good variety of stuff. But I just feel like they're losing their luster, man. I want to see some bigger titles. I want to see some bigger games. I want to see some games, you know, not from the 80s as much anymore. People want like Q*bert and stuff like that. Like, you know, that's cool. But I feel like the amount of people that would want something like a Q*bert versus the amount of people who would want and potentially purchase something like more fighting games, 3D fighting games, shooting games, racing games, driving games, and stuff like that. I feel like that segment is now the segment that's in the 30s that has that disposable income, you know? I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong about it. But this lineup does absolutely nothing to instill confidence in Arcade1Up for me. The fact that they've released so many re-releases of these machines have been worse versions of the machines. Look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles machine that they re-released. Yeah, maybe it looked a little cooler, but it sounded like shit. Okay, those speakers are terrible. Those speakers on X-Men are terrible. Those speakers on The Simpsons are terrible, and they were charging me premium prices for them. They don't have the benefit of the doubt with me anymore. And these machines do nothing to instill any sort of faith that things are going to get cool in the future and that things are going to get better in the future, because besides the little home casino cade for the 60-year-old women chain smoking and drinking their bourbons, sitting there pressing the buttons with their greasy nails on the machine, I don't see people being super excited about this. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe this is the wave. Maybe this is the future. Another 2 versions of Miss Pac-Man. If I am wrong, let me know in the comment section down below. I just wanted to get this off my chest because this is a company that I used to be like a big champion for. You know, I was always talking highly about them and how I enjoyed their products. But as time, I mean, like I said, I was there for Street Fighter 2, bro. Like when that thing came out, I set it up and reviewed it and I absolutely loved it. But as time has gone on, I've just, man, definitely fallen out of love with this company. I don't think you're bad people, Arcade1Up, but maybe you got too many yes men around you telling you that everything that you're doing is great, when you need a little bit of dose of reality. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We're trying to hit 500,000 subscribers in the year of 2023. And once we hit it, I'll never ask you to subscribe again because I feel like 500,000 is my plateau. It's my peak. That's as high as I'm going. They won't let a guy with a face like this and a mouth like this get much further than that. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.